Well, this is my 2002 Golf that I recently acquired, and I knew it was rusty. I knew about these holes, and of course, the moment you start poking the holes, you discover more. This is far beyond repairable to the point of this whole panel needs to be replaced. There's a huge holes. The problem is any repairs would supersede the value of the car by like tenfold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just patch the holes with whatever Walmart material I can come out to, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna bother to fix any of that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an experiment and just spray it with Cosmoline, and that's it. I'm not gonna do I might paint this portion just because of the aesthetics, that's it, but I'm not gonna do any actual repair to the metal itself, and I'm gonna see how that's gonna hold up. So I guess we'll do the report year after and see how that thing goes. Alright, to give you a mid-project update, I guess. The car is all wrapped up because I was preparing to paint it like last week, but since the global warming, in mid-May I was actually scraping the ice off the windshield of that car, in order to go to work. So it was like 50 degrees. Of course, none of the Bondo could work, but now I'm actually I think I'm done with the body work, so I'm gonna give you kind of like a mid-project update to show you what I actually did. Mind you, it's done with supervision of Stevie Wonder, okay, and Ray Charles, and I did it with my feet. This is the first time I'm doing the body work, so bear with me. So this was the most prominent one because it was up for everybody to see, and you can see 3 different colors of the Bondo because I ran out of one, then I ran out of the second one, and I finished up finally with the third one. I started with the one with a metal reinforcement, I guess, whatever you want to call it. That actually worked quite well because I'm gonna try to close the door, because this is the result of it now. Because I don't know, can you remember, or should I put it? Yeah, I'm just gonna put the videos one next to each other. This was all one big hole, almost like a Titanic. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but it's nice and smooth. It's patched up. I even managed to patch this hole here. So I'm actually pleased. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but then again, I mean, this is a $500 car, so kind of who gives a crap. I was really happy that I patched the holes. That was the most important part. And then I'm gonna paint it now, which I know it's gonna show every single what you want to call it thing, imperfection on it, but hey, at least it's gonna be patched up and hold up. Alrighty, and that was the update number 2, 1, I don't know. Alrighty, well, I got a package in the mail. Got a little smushed, but that's okay. These are all parts for the Golf. So we got a new air filter, we got a new cabin filter with instructions. That's good. I also got a new handle for a driver's door, which is very nice. This one is not original, but I don't know, can you tell? It has a very nice satin finish to it. It almost feels like suede. Very nice, and it was, I want to say $15 roughly. One of the rare things that I guess we'll see it when it's installed and how it's gonna hold off, but I actually like it so far. The only thing that I messed up is I'm missing one of the, actually let me show you what I did. Okay, shiny new Volkswagen emblem. This is beautiful. This is actually well made, shiny as you can tell. Truly bling with a nice with a nice sticky in the back so you can label it. The only problem is when you actually order stuff online without actually bothering to measure it. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? I have been truly a male and just clicked it. Yeah, alrighty. Well, tomorrow we're gonna do some work on it. Alrighty, so to give you an update, or should I say to continue with the theme of putting a good money and hopeless causes, an update on golf. So let's see, I got the correct emblems for the hubcaps because that's very important. The door has been fixed. Let me demonstrate that. That's just, oh, brings so much pleasure in me. Caveat, when you want to adjust the door, if you had problems like mine, don't do it while the car is on the jack stands, because it will not adjust correctly. What happened is I adjusted while the car was sitting on the jack stands, and it worked fine while it was on the jack stands. After that, once I put the car down, it just didn't want to do it anymore. Basically reverted back to the old ways that it was just not working fine. Also, what I have is I replaced the of course the solid door module, which reflects in the fact that now actually the car knows when the door is open, and also that means that it will actually do some certain things, say like it's called convenience module or whatnot. Basically what you can do is, yes, you can lock the car with a key, wrong key, anyway, but it will roll the windows down all the way, and not because I had to replace that, so this key doesn't work anymore. But moving along, I do have a replacement switches installed, which they work fine, and I also got a replacement door handle, which, as you can tell, this one is broken. I tried to glue it back together and it broke pretty much the next day, so I kind of gave up on that. What else? Yep, I got a come on, there we go. I got the non-original but still working fine armrest. Apparently they break a lot, because I was able to find one no problem whatsoever for a relatively low amount of money. I am kind of torn about this, because I think this was designed mainly for the automatic cars, because once you're actually using it, if it's in a normal position, you have hard time pulling on the handbrake, and secondly, you have hard time shifting because your elbow hits right at the edge here. So solution for that is, sorry about son, either you can lower it down even more, like so, which kind of looks broken and ugly, but you can shift back in that position, and you cannot move the handbrake. Or what I result doing is basically put in the up position. The only problem is you still hit the elbow and the corner. So I think they, instead of a German designer, they hired a Italian one, or somebody from the French side for that. But nevertheless, I like it. I like to have it, so it stays. I think it's going to be very useful for longer journeys. Also, let's see, what other updates I have. Yes, I changed the fans. Let's call it the beautifully closing door now. Let's see, can I do this with one hand? Maybe. I actually lubed this latch, and I don't think it's gonna, oh, come on. Aha! Almost. Ta-da! In here, what we have new, you cannot see it, but the fans are new. I replaced those because the AC wasn't working. So I'm gonna find out the reason for that is because both fans were in bad condition. They are still kind of somewhat working, but with a horrible noise, and they were definitely in a bad shape. So as soon as I replaced them, the AC worked fine, these guys work fine. Caveat, don't buy the cheapest one, because there are actually two different kinds for these. The one, I think it's for the non-AC car, has one plug. Mine has two, because I think that's the reason why, so they can run the separate fan just for the AC while the car is idling. So I bought the wrong one, and then I had to basically return it and get a new one. Also, I replaced the fuel filter and did a diesel purge on it. That actually made the car run a little bit better. I stopped having a flat spot around 2500 RPM. Basically the car was going well, the turbo kick in, and now it's nice and smooth, so basically it will rev smoothly. Also, while I was doing the fans, I changed the oil and the oil filter, because I have the protective plate on it, so it's a pain in the neck to change the oil actually, because it doesn't have the access holes. And while I was doing that, the car was actually kind of in the semi-finished state. What happened was, I actually was a fool, and I was driving it while it was still not fixed altogether. The bumper was barely connected. So what happened was, I lost the vent, as you can tell. I don't know, can you tell? But yeah, the vent is missing. It's present on the other side. Actually, the car was complete. The car was complete, but I was driving it, and of course that thing wasn't secured properly, so that thing just went bye-bye. However, I did get lucky, and I think I'm gonna insert a video right here about how I actually found it. No, I haven't gone mad or started to eat healthy. Yes, I'm walking down the street, and the reason for that is because in my laziness I started driving the Golf without being fully completed. And what I forgot is that one of the vents on the bumper wasn't really secured, and I lost it. And I was just about to buy a new one when I realized I'm just gonna drive around and maybe I'll find it, and lo and behold, yeah, it's been run over a couple of times, but guess what? It's the original for the car, ergo the concourse quality is gonna remain. I might be able to glue it back together, but yes. The new ones are actually kind of hard to find. You can find the Chinese ones that are a piece of crap. So I'm actually gonna put this one back. And yeah, I'm actually really happy that I found it, no matter how beat up it is. Alrighty, good find today. So yeah, so I actually managed to find it, and here it is. It's all chewed up and ran over. It was probably ran over by the Golf, because I can only imagine it fell right underneath the front wheel and then the rear wheel, and now it's all smashed to pieces and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go and get some epoxy glue and try to fix all this stuff. I think it will still be just fine, but I just want to be sure. And plus, it's original to the car, yes, and I really don't like stuff that's missing. And I don't know how to pay for the stuff that I already had. So yeah, so that's all also on the to-do list for this weekend. And to continue with the updates, one of the most important ones that I really wanted to do was yes, the holes are patched. I don't know, can you remember? But this thing was full of holes, worse than Titanic. This is all, I mean, it's fixed. It's definitely not a professional, but I did paint it. I'll show you on the inside. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, can you tell, but basically this was all full of holes as well. So, get away, sunshade. So I'm actually pretty pleased how it looks
of course you can tell it's definitely not factory. Of course there is definitely some pottery being done there. The only thing that I'm not happy about is how this fender turned out to be. This is actually came out pretty nice. This was a hole right here, so after several attempts I actually fixed it up fairly well. The only problem is once I start painting it, the weather was definitely not cooperating, and that took quite a few days, and it was very windy, so basically I was not able to blend anything properly. So you can tell that there is like a really nice sharp edge here because the wind was just blowing all my papers away and all that stuff. So that kind of bothers me right now, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So today on the schedule is to replace the air filter, to replace the cabin filter, to replace the door pull. What else? Glue the vent, and also the rear shocks. I do have them. One of the vendors have them for a. Oh, let's try it. How about that? Sorry about the mess. This is working in the garage. Yeah, this is the freshly newfounded vent. I'm gonna move some stuff away. And yeah, what I found is Monroe's. Monroe is kind of bottom of the range, still kind of name brand, but still bottom of the range. Normal these are about $35, $45 depending on where you find them. I found them for $18 a pair for the rear shocks, so I snagged 2 of them. They're going to be definitely better than the old leaky Bilsteins that are on the car. I do like Bilstein as a brand. I don't like the way they ride because they're definitely too harsh. So these are the usual Sensomatic, Crapomatic, whatever. Hopefully they ride a little bit better because again, this is not a GTI. Come on, Gimbal. This is not a GTI. This is just a TDI. So basically low and slow, and you know, gas sipping type deal. Still fun. Don't get me wrong. When on the subject of suspension, yes, I should be replacing the front ones as well, but there are just too many mouths to feed, and I noticed that I also need to replace these. Let's see, these bushings as well on both sides. That's the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. They're both wonked out of the way you're supposed to be. So that's the project for some other time when I get the money, because that's a little more involved, that's a little more complicated, and once I get some money to throw away on another project in my life, then we'll do that. Alrighty, let's get cracking. Alrighty, time for a mid-project update. What we have done so far is we changed the air filter and the cabin filter. The cabin filter was very much due. The air filter was also pretty much due. I'm charging the battery, so that's going on. And now we're changing the shocks. And in the process of doing that, yes, you do not have to pull the wheel liners out. I just did that because I wanted to do the rust prevention as usual. So what we have here is Germans actually did a pretty good job about organizing the shock change, because you don't have to take the wheel liner out at all. It's accessible pretty much from the inside of the wheel well. You basically, I don't think you need any special tools, and it was pretty easy to do. The Bilsteins that I have on the car were really much done for, and I'm replacing them with the I'm replacing them with a pardon the bike. The Monroes, they're actually the same color as the car, so that's pretty nice. That was a pleasant surprise. What wasn't a pleasant surprise was that this rotor is pretty much ruined. I don't know the reason why. I think because the parking brake is not catching evenly or something like that. So the other one is fine, and the front ones are so-so. This one is new rotor, new pad, so I guess I'm gonna have to replace all that. And in the meantime, since one of the projects, since I'm already here, what I'm gonna do is I already Cosmoline all this up. I don't know, can you tell, but it's nice, black, shiny and greasy and stinky, and you can tell it's dripping all over the garage floor, hence the bag over the brake system. Oh yeah, it's mess as usual, but I'm glad that because I'm probably not gonna bother with the taking the wheel liners off ever, hopefully, because they're kind of pain in the neck. So might as well Cosmoline everything, get behind the wheel arches as well, which is kind of actually hard to do when the wheel liners are in place. And then after that I can just do the whole car much easier, because it's literally just crawl under and spray as needed. So I'm happy about that. Well, I'm not happy about this is the brake system, and also I'm going to show you on the other side. I'm going to go right back in. I don't know, can you tell, but let's see, where's the light? As you can tell, I'm prepared as always. Yeah, these bushings are pretty much shot. I mean, they look like Play-Doh being squeezed out. So one thing after another. But it is what it is. It's an older car with a lot of miles. I'm actually surprised how in good shape it is in the back. There is almost no rust in the back. So once I'm done with that, then it's gonna be change the front stuff, and then I'm gonna see about those bushings. I think they're definitely not critical, and I'm kind of done playing with mechanic for a little bit. And one thing I forgot to mention is while I'm changing the brakes, changing the shocks, what I need to do is I need to basically take the shocks out the mount here, and for the life of me I couldn't get the spindle to be steady enough for me to take that off. So one trip to the usual grocery store, I actually got this little vise, and oh my god, this made life so much easier. This was a piece of cake, because not alone did I need the mounting point for the shock for the body. This is also a vital piece. This is basically a bump stop here that also needs to go back in the car. And also the Monroes did not come with a dust cover, dust boot. So yeah, that's definitely a necessary thing. So lifesaver. I finally broke down and, should I say, decided to buy one. Definitely worth the $19 and some change.
Okay. Alright, some progress have been made. The car is finally down, and I got the shiny new logo on it. Oh, it's very shiny. I really like it. New shocks installed, and they are much softer than the old ones or the Bostein's period. I'm gonna set the camera down, and I'm gonna try to show you guys how that looks. So I'm gonna just basically rock the car a little bit with my own weight, and then you can see how much of a suspension travel there is. That's the rear. We're gonna go toward the front. And we're gonna repeat the same high-tech. I don't know, can you see it? Is this the sun gonna be in the way? Let's try this way. Maybe. So definitely not as springy. So that's good. Also, oh, we have that. Ta-da! Nice and new. This again, this is an aftermarket one, and it has that satin finish that looks very nice. I actually like it a lot. So I think we should go for a ride. see how everything feels and how everything works. So I decided to record a little bit of a overlay because um, the camera was bumping against the mount and it was making horrible noise that was actually drowning everything else. So basically, once I somewhat finished the car up, basically at least for this stage, took it for a little ride because I was really curious about how it's actually riding, especially rear shock wise. I wish I had the money to replace all four of them because that will actually really make a impact, yay or nay. So basically, I just took it on the usual roads around my neighborhood that they're kind of bumpy and they're kind of curvy, uh, to see how the car is gonna behave. And I will tell you that I immediately I noticed that uh, the suspension was much more pliable, if you like, and you could actually tell if you ran over the same bump, front and rear. You could tell that the front one was really jarring the car, whilst the rear one was kind of more compliant. Granted, the Bilstein up front carry more weight because you have the huge TDI up front, um, and also they're older, so it's not really comparable. Here I'm kind of ranting and raving about um, how I like driving a manual because I haven't driven a manual in God knows how many years, and that was one of the reasons why I bought the Golf. Um, and it's really enjoyable car to drive. Um, it's just one of those, bona fide. It's like a golden retriever of the cars, basically. It just doesn't do anything wrong. It's just there for you. Very nice, very obedient, very very pettable car, if you like, to carry on the analogy. So basically, I was cooling around those corners. It kind of really brought back the memories about growing up with the manual, and it's it's definitely something that the car enthusiast should have. Um, Here I am starting to notice that I was starting to get hot because it is June, mid-June, and it's getting really hot in the car right now. I had to keep the windows open, sorry, closed, um, to because I was trying to record the me talking, but didn't work. But I'm starting noticing that the AC is actually not working. Mind you, AC was working. Now to backtrack a little bit, when I got the car, the previous owner said AC is not working. I don't know why. I know some parts was replaced, like I think he said the compressor was replaced, and all the fuses look good. So I just didn't troubleshoot it from that point on. So what I realized that is basically that the fuse was not blown, but the housing for the fuse was melted. So once I replaced the fans, the AC was starting to kick in. So I pulled over to basically to see what's going on because I was really bummed why the AC is not working all of a sudden after literally fixing it and spending a whole bunch of money on a brand new fans. So what I did was I kind of jiggled the fuse for the fans around. They came to life, and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I just need to address that. I tested. It was working fine. It was starting to cool. I was really happy about it. Started heading back home. Uh, Basically, the day was starting to look much better. And then, literally a minute into it, it just clicked again. So, at least I'm back at the square zero. At least I know what it is about. So, you fix one thing and something else breaks. That's how it usually goes.
Well, you know what to say. What the saying is, you fix one thing, something else breaks. So, just back from from the ride, drive, however you want to call it, and I discovered that the AC doesn't work. It was working fine earlier, so I'm not quite sure what the gimmick is about that. And you saw me fiddle with these. This is the fuse that commands the fans, and as you can tell, it has burned and melted and whatnot, and it's actually, what I did was I just touched it and the fan started working. So let me see if I can replicate that. The way you check if those fans are working, which is they're commanding the AC to turn on, or should I say the AC unit is commanding to turn them on, is you turn the key to the on position. You don't have to start the car, and it put the fan on, and then you press the AC on. That should command the fans to turn on. They're not running. No, I cannot make them run anymore. There we go. Son of a bleep. I don't know what to do with this thing anymore. I guess I need to troubleshoot that as well, because I really don't like the way that thing is not really secured. Always something. Oh well, okay. Well, I guess that's it for today, because I am done messing with this thing. I like how it rides now. The new shocks definitely helped a lot. I cannot wait to put the front ones on, because I think that's definitely going to change the way this thing behaves, because right now it's definitely on the firm side, even for the Golf. But apart from that, yeah, this is definitely a very enjoyable thing to drive.
So there you have it, guys. That's the update on the Project Golf. I am glad that I did all that. I'm kind of finished with it for a little bit. Not glad that I found those things that kind of emerged. For instance, the AC is not functioning again. I need to bypass that electrical gizmo thingy, or figure what I'm gonna do about it. Not glad about that brake, and oh my god, look at this. Okay, so remember that I put the brand new logo on the other side over there? Now this one is off. Oh, that's awesome. I swear to God. I guess some stuff needs to have one thing broken in order for everything else to work. This might be one of those situations. That's funny. Oh man, I might have to leave that off, I guess, in order for everything else to work. But yeah, so I am done with Golf for a little bit. I'm kind of sick of playing mechanic with it, partially because I kind of dumped a couple $100 in it, which I'm glad I did, which is to be expected for the car of this vintage, and that basically I just bought. So it kind of basically to make sure that everything is up to snuff, and roadworthy and safe. So overall, I'm happy with it. Next for the Golf would be to replace the rear rotor and the rear pads, and probably see maybe the caliper is seizing a little bit. So we'll see this. So probably brake flush with that. Replace the front struts with the mounts over there, and I believe that's pretty much it. I cannot even think about anything else that this thing is gonna need for quite a while. Maybe bushings in the back, but that's kind of definitely not a priority. But yeah, so as of right now, I'm progressing. I'm happy with the progress with this thing, and then we'll see what else tomorrow brings.